The time is just gone 4 minutes past 9, and we are running a bit late this morning. But Alhamdulillah, Jummah Inspirations, it is a beautiful day of Jummah. And once again, looking at the nasiha and the advices of our honorable ulama on this beautiful day of Jummah. And this morning, Alhamdulillah, we're joined by our respected Moulana Mohamed Salajee, member of the Jamiatul Ulama KZN. Moulana, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan so much for your time with us this morning.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah
Ye-
for granting me the opportunity of addressing your esteemed listeners.
Yes, Maulana, I'm into that. And Bismillah ar-Rahman rahim the platform is all yours.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فقد قال تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد لقد جاءكم رسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليه ما عنتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين الرؤوف الرحيم فإن تولوا فقل حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو صدق الله العظيم وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فتن كقطع الليل المظلم يصبح الرجل مؤمنا ويمسه كافرا أو يمسه مؤمنا ويصبح كافرا أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. My dear respected listeners, Allah Rabbul Izzat has given us this perfect deen. Allah Ta'ala has blessed us with Iman. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has shown us this Yawm al-Jum'ah. The day of Jum'ah is a Mubarak day and one of the most blessed days of the week. The person that recites Surah Kahf on this day, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will save him from the fitna of Dajjal. And there are numerous virtues of this day, of one of which is that there is a moment in this day that if any dua is made in that moment, that dua is readily accepted. Ulama have stated that most probably it is the time when the Imam is ascending the mimbar, or most probably it is the time just before sunset. But whichever moment it is a time of acceptance of dua on this blessed day. My dear respected listeners, if we look around us, we are surrounded by trials and tribulations, fitna of the time. And the way the fitna is pouring upon us, before we are relieved of one, another one is already upon us. And before we have completed that one, we find another one is already upon us. We are surrounded. And now we are surrounded with such trials where our children are also being taken into these things. And their minds are being diluted and their minds are being pointed in a certain direction. How do we save ourselves? How do we save the progeny that is coming after us? There is only one way, and that is the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The lifestyle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is an exemplary lifestyle for mankind right up till the day of Qiyamah. Some may think and some may say it is only a sunnah. But that statement of making it only a sunnah shows a deficiency in our iman. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned that my sunnah is like the ship of Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam. Whoever climbs into the ship, he will be saved. And whoever misses the boat, he will be drowned. And today, we can see this is exactly what is happening. Those that have held fast to the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in this time and age, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself mentioned, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ حَرِيصٌ عَلَيْكُمْ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ. That what was the quality of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam? First and foremost, he was from us. He was a human. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had created him as the best of mankind, Ashraful Makhluqat, Rahmatul lil Alameen, Sayyidul Qawnayn, that best of creation, mercy unto the universe, and the King of the universe, that is our Rasul. Such an exemplary character. Ma anittum alaykum. And the ni'mats, how much of gratitude we have to show to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam for showing us how to live, for showing us how to have social interaction, for showing us how to do trade, for showing us how to treat our wives, how to treat our children. Everything that has occurred in the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was an example for mankind right up to the day of Qiyamah. That all the incidents, be it minor or major, the same occurrence, the same incidents are occurring in our lives. And we have been given the blueprint on how to sort these problems out and sort these issues out. My dear respected listeners, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as an aziz, a friend, as a person that is al-hadi, a guide for us. And we find that the Sahaba understood this lesson and they took it to heart, and whatever was the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they brought it into their lives. Hazrat Usman Ghani radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he is coming into Makkah al-Mukarramah. It is a time where the Sahaba with the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had come to perform Umrah. They were stopped at Hudaybiyah, no entry into Makkah. Hazrat Usman is sent forward to see what is happening in Makkah. He is dressed in the Sunnah attire with his pants above his ankles, and the Quraysh look at him with disdain. That what is this? How is it that your pants is above the ankles? You are being looked down upon. But what was his answer? This is the Sunnah of my Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is how my Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had dressed, and this is how he had led his life. Another glaring example, one Sahabi was invited to the court of the king, and a morsel of food had fallen down. And when he had bent down to pick it up and dust it and eat it, the others are looking at him with big eyes, and the people around him are looking, don't do that. Don't you know in which court you are? What was his answer? Must I leave out the sunnah of my Rasul for these fools? These are fools in front of the sunnah of my Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My dear respected listeners, we have to bring the ishq and the love of Rasul. We have to bring the ishq and the love of the way of life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And only with the love of sunnah, we will get the love of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And only with the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, then only we can attain the true love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We see in this time and age where the ummah is being led astray, and the ummah is going through such difficult times and such hardships. In every home, parent is faced with the trials where a child is gone off track, where a child has no link to the deen of Allah, where a child does not want to listen to his parents, and we wonder where we went off. A story comes to mind. A child once attaching himself to the masjid, and he was trying to do hifz, and the imam was trying to nurture him in that direction. And one day he went to the house because the child had not come to madrasa for a few days, and he asked, when he knocked on the door, the father opened the door, and he told, don't ever come to my door again, because you are nurturing my child in this direction. He may become a terrorist, he may become a person that will go against me. I don't want to see you again. Fast forward a few months later, the very same father comes crying to the imam and tells the imam, please come take my son away. He is beating me every day because he's looking for money for drugs. He's looking for money for alcohol. He's looking for money for all the social vices. My dear respected listeners, let us understand the lessons of life. The lessons of life are very, very simple. If we do not give the proper tarbiyah to our children, and if we do not look after our children and give them the proper nurturing according to the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we will be the ones that will be crying tears of blood. We see that the LGBTQ phenomenon is taking root. There's a few people that are pushing it. But if our child is exposed to this and their minds are taken in that direction, if they're exposed to this, then what hardships the parents face. So it is our responsibility. كُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ وَكُلُّكُمْ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ. Each of you is a shepherd, and each of you is answerable for his flock. So your child is your responsibility. Whoever is under you is your responsibility. You have the right to ask them where they are going, who they are going with, what they are doing. And if we take stock of our situation, establish ta'aleem in our homes, establish mashwara in the house, where the whole family sits together and talks. Put away those gadgets. Those gadgets are finishing our lives. Put them away. Let's have some family time. Let's sit down and talk. And then we will find the muhabba and the love will come between the family members. And more importantly, reading the hadith, having ta'aleem at home, will encourage us to bring the sunnah of Rasulullah into our lives. And through that, the love of the Rasul of Allah, and through that, the love of Allah and the ahkam of Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from the fitnas of the time and make it such that we turn to Allah in tawbah on this Mubarak day. Leave aside the lives that we have led, the life that was contrary to the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the ahkam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and let us turn our attention and gaze to that life that will bring us salvation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us and accept us. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma laka alhamdu kullu wa laka almulku kullu wa laka alshukru kullu. Allahumma la uqtana alayk anta kama asnayta ala nafsik. يا حنان يا منان يا ذا الجلال والإكرام والعزة الذي لا ترام نسألك موجب رحمتك وعزائم مغفرتك والغنيمة من كل بر والسلامة من كل إثم. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا دينا إلا قضيت ولا حاجة هي لك رضا إلا قضيتها يا راحمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Jazakallah khairan so much, Maulana, for the wonderful nasiha. Allah grant us all the ability to practice upon what is said. And once again, Jazakallah for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That was Moulana Mohamed Salajee with the nasiha this morning. We're going to go for a quick break. We come back and we are going to be joined by the former Minister of Health, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, sharing his ANC presidential prospects.